Good morning. Happy coffee talk. It's light out. Hooray. Oh my gosh. Not only is it light out, but there are cherry blossoms starting on my trees. So I have this big giant cherry blossom tree in the front yard, and then I've got something in that category in the backyard. And they're both starting to bloom, and it's making me very happy. Coffee this morning is Black Rifle coffee in my You Make the World a Better Place rainbow mug. Love this mug. And today is my quiet time day. Oh, I'm so excited. So I do quite a lot of coaching calls and consult calls. So I like to talk to people who are thinking about getting started with fitme. And so I'm on the phone a lot. And Wednesdays I'm not. Wednesdays I kind of block the day so that I can do other things. So I can write, I can create content, I can rest, I can do whatever I need to do. I highly recommend a midweek, not a free day, because it's not a free day. I'm still going to be working, but a flex day is what I would call it. Midweek flex day, 10 out of 10. Okay. Highly recommend it for you. We've been talking, this week has been a lot about getting on track, staying on track. What the heck does that even mean? If you missed Monday and Tuesday's episode, I highly recommend going back and checking it out. Because I explained on Monday how you get on track. And then yesterday we talked about boundaries and having blinders so that you can stay on track. Because a lot of times we just sabotage ourselves and we end up, messing up our consistency or just giving up. And it's a boundaries thing, not a discipline thing. So highly recommend getting that episode in your brain. Today, yesterday I did these calls and they just, yesterday I was doing assessment consult calls. And so these are kind of a special kind of consult where you get to fill out a fitme assessment. And then it's not just us talking about your goals and a plan to work for you. We actually deep dive into where you're at right now. We break down everything and we really look at the places that need work or that need your attention so that you can prioritize them and then you can move forward. That's what we do on these assessment calls. And yesterday I was doing an assessment call and the woman I was doing with said something to me that it just kind of blew me away. It stuck with me so hard. And she said, she basically was telling me about how when she was doing a certain kind of tracking, like she was tracking and weighing and measure her food, that it basically meant that she couldn't eat with her family. And I want to talk about this because this is kind of one of those subjects that can go either way. And so I'm not pretending that there's not nuance here. But I do want to share that twice this week, I've had someone tell me that they felt like when they were weighing and measuring and tracking their food, that they either had to hide it from their kids or that when they were trying to hit their macros, then they had to eat separate from their family. So it was this is what I have to eat and this is you. Now, here's what I want to share about this. And again, this is nuanced because everybody is different. But if eating with your family doesn't fit your macros, then you shouldn't track macros. Okay? If weighing and measuring your food means that you have to hide it from your kids, then you shouldn't weigh and measure your food. I think that these strategies, which can be helpful sometimes, okay, so I feel comfortable tracking macros sometimes. I feel comfortable weighing and measuring my food sometimes because it's a tool. But these strategies, which are primarily used for fitness competitors, bodybuilders, physique competitors, and professional athletes have been turned into this diet strategy that if it fits your macros or if you just weigh and measure all of your food, then you are going to achieve what you want. And here's the thing. Again, if it's working for you, I'm not talking to you. If it's working for you, just disregard this episode. You can sign off, come back tomorrow, because I'm not saying these strategies are bad. That's not what I'm saying. I am saying that if you are hiding them from your kids, then they are not serving you. That is not a sustainable strategy for you. If tracking your macros means you don't ever get to eat with your family, then that strategy is not working for you. If you ever want to eat with your family, that's what I'm saying. If you can use those tools and do all the things and you feel great about it, they are tools, just like a hammer. A hammer is a tool. If I take a hammer and I have a nail and 2 pieces of wood, I can take this hammer and I can pound that nail into the 2 pieces of wood, and now those pieces of wood are stuck together. I just appropriately used a tool in the right setting and context, and it helped me. I could also take that same hammer and throw it through a glass window. Same exact tool, except now it's not helping me, it's hurting things. It's breaking things. I could take that same tool, a hammer, and I could smash something. Like I could take 2 pieces of wood, same 2 pieces of wood, right? In theory, it should make sense. But I put them in my lap. And now I'm hammering in my lap. Context is off. Not the same setting. It's not the same. And so the reason that I share this is because sometimes we get really hung up on the tool. We're like, well, if I'm on track, I need this tool. If I'm on track, then I need to do it this way because so-and-so did it this way. If I could just track my macros like so-and-so, then I would be able to be successful. And it's just more complex than that because you actually have to see what works for you. You have to see what works for you. And at the end of the day, like if you have this gut instinct, sorry, I have something in my eye. So if you're watching this, I'm like rubbing my eye as we talk. If you have this gut instinct, like, oh, I'm hiding this, or I would not want my daughter to copy what I'm doing right now, it's not working for you. We can discuss this with the scale too. The scale is a tool, just like the hammer. It can be really helpful sometimes. It gives you information. It can be used appropriately. It can also be thrown through a glass window. It can also burn your lap on fire. Like it could do all sorts of things. So if you are using the scale and it's a good tool for you, awesome. If you are using the scale and you're getting on it 6 times a day and you are talking about it and you are beating yourself up all the time and you are ruining your day and you know that it's not helping you, then you're not using the tool correctly. It's not a good tool for you. So this coffee talk message isn't about demonizing the tools. So if you made it this far, I hope you realize that. I hope you know that what I'm saying is not that you can't track your food. And I'm not saying that you can't use macros. And I'm not saying you can't use a food scale. You can. You just need to know if those tools are working for you. Are they helping you? Or are they making your life less good? And are you doing this unsustainable strategy that ultimately isn't going to get you to what you want anyway? Again, going back to this tool idea, a tool is great, but what if it's the wrong tool? Question mark, right? What if you're trying to do, I am obviously not good at building things, so just forgive me in advance. But like, what if you're trying to screw in a screw and you're smashing it with a hammer? It kind of looks the same. It's like, yeah, 2 pieces of wood and little metal spike seems right. Let me just use this hammer. It's the wrong tool. It's the wrong tool for the job, the outcome that you want. If you're trying to shape a piece of wood into a different shape and you're hammering it, probably the wrong tool. Wrong tool for the job. And so you have to ask yourself that question too. Just because somebody else is using this tool and it seems like it's the right one for them, Is it even going to get you to what you want? The answer could be no. And so I'm giving you this podcast episode to give you permission to assess different tools and decide which ones work for you. Try them and then reject them or keep them. Or give yourself permission to use them at different times in different seasons. That's also good. What could be good now, again, might not be good in 6 months. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with you. So I hope this sticks with you. I hope this visual sticks with you. And whenever you think about why the scale just isn't working for you right now, just remember that you're throwing it through a glass window right now. It's obviously not a helpful tool. And tracking, step counters, weighing and measuring your food, none of these are bad. They're fine. They're just tools. But if that tool starts to light your lap on fire or whatever, I don't know what tool. I don't know what tool actually would light your lap on fire. That's insane. That tool is defective. If just time out before we finish this coffee talk episode, if you have a power tool in your house that lights your lap on fire, it's not a good tool anyway, but you get my point. So you have permission to evaluate the tools and choose what times they work for you and reject them when they don't. That's what you get to decide. So thanks for plugging into Coffee Talk. Let me know if this episode was helpful. If you liked it, take a picture of it, screen capture, and tag me. Let me know that it was helpful. And if you think somebody else would enjoy it, do me a huge favor and send it to them. This podcast doesn't have any sponsors or anything yet. And so the only way that people find out about it is if you tell them. So shoot it to somebody who you think might enjoy this episode. Maybe if somebody is struggling with the scale or struggling with weighing and measuring their food and you're like, hey, Christy talked exactly about this today. So send it to them. And we do have our On Track program that's coming up in a couple weeks. So be sure to watch next week for signups. We will have a limited number of spots. You're going to want to get in when we open the registration. So next week registration will be open for our 4-week On Track program. So thanks again for plugging into Coffee Talk. If you haven't done so, subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. And if you're not a part of our Facebook group, go to fitme free community and join our Facebook group where we do the diet-free sustainable habits that work in your real life. And we give you access to that fit and healthy lifestyle that you want through the vehicle of a real community and real people doing it with you. So we will see you there and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.